Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. So, I want to react to this as well. I'm really doing random stuff right now in December. I told you guys most of my super activistic stuff will be in January just because that's how I roll. And so right now I'm just kind of doing research with you guys. You guys, as I said, you guys are the real ones. This is not a popular time to talk about this issue, especially in the way that I do. Basically, people don't want to diet or whatever at all at this time. So I want to just talk to you guys who are the real ones, as I said, and do a little research and whatever. And I want to look at more of what I guess fitnessy type of people say about having lost weight. I want to get more of a picture of that, and I felt like this was something kind of different as well. I need to find some new things. So we're gonna just watch this and I'm gonna react to it. I've lost a shit ton of weight. I guess he lost a bunch of weight, and I just want to say, or like, I want to see what I agree with, disagree with, etc. Maybe how the experiences are different, etc. So let's go ahead and see.
I want to talk about being that kid that, he lost over 85 plus pounds and everyone around me just changed. They really just changed. The way people treated me, the way people viewed me, the way people even came up to me and talked to me, the way people conversated with me, you know, their judgments on me. It all changed. Everything literally changes after you lose weight. And it's not just you and your personality and your perspectives. Literally,
Okay, so I always wonder, for me, I lost over such a long period of time. Like, I always joke with one of my best friends she's working to get her PhD. I'm always like, who's gonna finish first? Me in this fucking weight loss journey or you? I think it's gonna be me. But it's a close one. It's getting close, to be honest. It's been a long time. It's been so long, London. It's been a long time. So I don't know if it's like with people, like, I guess it's saying, or like his page, he lost, I'm thinking I read it, he lost like around 85 pounds or something. That can happen in like a year, versus for me it was like 170 or something, like a lot. And it was over, you know basically 3.5 years almost. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just like put it all together and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then before that, I did like a year and a half of like getting my nutrition up and, white knuckling being out of the TR and trying to get my thyroid to be okay. Um, but like as far as downsizing, it's been 3.5 years. Been some off season, on season, but particularly 2024 and 2025, it was like solid the whole year. And 2023, it was a solid 6 months, and I lost 50 pounds. So that was still very significant in that year. And it's like, so I cannot honestly relate to not having a change in perspective. I was deep in the TR, the toxic ritualistic. I was in binge very badly for many many years. So for me to get to this point, it took so much internal transformation, particularly in 2024. I would say the first half of that year was one of the most intense crash courses of my life, where I had to deal with triggers on a daily basis almost, pretty much that first 6 months. And I had to just push through, just push through, just push through, just push through. It's like you defy what your brain tells you to do on a daily basis. You defy what you've always done on a daily basis. Very hard. And so for me to do that, it basically changed everything after, I would say, that point, which that was kind of the midpoint. It was the tortured point, the tortured era. I would consider that to be the most pivotal if you're very, very severe and very big, because you tend to do things you've never done. And because of that, you don't know what outcome you're going to get. So after that, obviously, I agree, people's perceptions did change, but they've changed multiple times. And so my opinion is like, it's almost like you can't base anything on that. It's not solid at all. And I just wonder if a lot of people who are younger, or who they didn't take them as long, they just, maybe they've never been through something like that, and maybe it's just very, very, very tough for them. For me, it's not difficult at all, but I don't know, I keep going back to that Taylor quote where she's like, I've been up and down in the court of public opinion throughout the years. That's exactly how I feel. So to me, I don't know, maybe I'm old, maybe I'm auntie now. I don't really care that much because it's happened so many times. So I do agree, like, people do change, but also you change too. So I guess, like, I agree and disagree with him at the same time.
Everyone's perspective on you, and even your family and friends, and even your teachers, even your bullies. My bullies literally changed their perspective on me once I lost weight. They stopped bullying me. I even became friends with some of them. You know, and that's kind of the mentality that
Oh, wow.
you you
Call me Chapel. I don't know. Call me a freaking bitch, but oh, honey. Not me. Sorry, I don't really forget. I feel like that's very, like, romanticized though, and I think it's great for people that can do that, but it would never be me. Like, no. So I don't know. If anything, I feel like people who I don't like, or people who are enemies with me or whatever, they're probably, I don't want to say this because I don't want to antagonize anybody, but they probably be more I don't know how to say it. I really don't want to antagonize. I know it seems like it, but I'm not trying to. I don't want to say threatened. That's too dramatic. I would say, like, more nervous, I guess, about dealing with me. Maybe there's a little bit of salt in the wound there with some people. Maybe it's worse. Maybe they feel worse. There's been a lot of times in my life where I haven't been with the popular thing, and I've been ahead of the curve quite a few times. And so I feel like sometimes people feel stupid because they were like, you're wrong and you're horrible and whatever. But then I was right. That's happened a lot too. It doesn't always happen. Um, Usually it's about, like, like, emotional stuff. You know what I mean? Or, like, personal bullshit things, stuff like that. But it can be like, it can be about other things too. Like, even like my activism or whatever. There are probably certain talking points that I said that people got pissed off, but then I was right. Like, for example, when I talk about the food addiction thing, it really pissed everybody off last year, or, the early this year. And people were telling me, like, you don't know, you could just gain everything back, and da 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 da. And this isn't, like, personal. This is, like, activistically. And I've never seen that person again that I had that fight with or that argument with. But they probably would feel stupid if they saw me now, because they were like, oh, we don't even know. You're not even in shape. You don't even know what could happen. You could just gain everything back tomorrow. And it's like, I lost another 50 pounds this year, you stupid dumbass. So to me, it's like, I feel like people like that, they may not, like, want to deal with me because they look stupid. So I've never experienced a bully that has, I don't know. I've never experienced that, you know? So I can't relate to that. So again, take that with whatever. Like that's probably why I don't view it the same. You know, I don't think that he's necessarily wrong at all. I don't. I think this is very like it can be different for different people. I'm just a different person. So it's like I'm very like I don't forget. I have a very good memory. So I'm like, you know what I mean? When it comes to shit like that, I would not forget that. It's not that I don't forgive, but I don't really forget and I don't really go back either. Put it to you that way. There's some very, very rare occasions, but if somebody was like actually like really trying to bully me or there was like a real thing going on, never. You know what I mean? If it's a little teasing or it's a little this or that or a little back and forth and it's not that deep, then yeah, but that's just like shit talk, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my God.
You're gonna have forward.
Here's what I
Oh, one
do
second.
every day.
Okay, so I am actually going to get premium in the new year. So that one person can get off my back. So I am actually listening to that finally. That will be happening in January. I'm going to get premium. So you can get off my back. I'm not going to forget the one who said that. I'm just kidding. No, but that's fine. I'm going to actually get it for 2026. We're going to do it. We're going to graduate together. Okay. But not until then.
Your family, your friends, like, kind of viewed you in that disgusting way because all the habits you did, you know, the tugging of the shirt, you know, the man boobs sticking out, you eating Oreos all day and drinking Coke and getting fat.
I don't know. I don't feel like I had that much. I mean, maybe I did have a shit ton of judgment, but again, I think I'm just realizing I'm a little scary. Just a little, just like a touch. I don't think I'm like necessarily like physically imposing or, you know, anything like that, but I feel like there's just the term is called emotional dominance, basically, which what that means is like I'm very active, basically. So it's like if somebody was like, you looked really disgusting when you did that, I'd be like, what? You know? And then people are like, so it's like, I don't know. I guess that's like an emotional dominance. Um, it's not something I can really stop. It's just part of who I am. Like, and I've had people be like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so extra? Why are you so emotional? And it's like I literally always will be. Like there's nothing I can do about it. It's ingrained into my brain and my nervous system and everything. So I don't know what to tell you. It's not gonna stop. But I think that's probably why I don't hear as much. Like I'm sure there have been thoughts. But a lot of people honestly forgot too. Like I have one family member where she's not like super super socially savvy, you know. Like she's pretty blunt and she's like introverted and she just kind of says things bluntly. And she was like, I don't remember you being like that. I really don't. She's like, that's crazy because we were looking at like old pictures and stuff. And so I feel like a lot of people in my family, they just don't remember. And I think a lot of my friends too just don't remember. Or people forget. So that should be a comfort. You know, I hope that's comfortable for people. Like, people will forget. Because it's not really like, people don't really trip out that much about you being a different size. It's the change. The change is what's weird. Because I think there are just possibly social things within human beings where we like look at stuff like that or we view things like that. It's not always TR. It's not always crazy. It can be, though, of course. It can be totally, pathological if it's extreme or bizarre. But I think a lot of times people just, they're like, oh my gosh, like when it's happening. But then once it's done, they just don't think about it anymore. And it's like, okay, whatever. Because it's kind of like, whatever, the social standing or the social dynamics shift, and then it's over. And then people move on. And then people forget that it was ever the other way. So I feel like that's really how it is, in my opinion. Like, I feel like if somebody was like really like throwing it in your face every single day, they probably have a TR issue. I don't think most people care, honestly. I think it could be a lot. Like for example, when I flew to LA in 2024, it was kind of a lot that first time because I had really downsized quite a bit. And it was in my torture again. It was one of those triggers that I had to deal with. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got over it and it was whatever. And then I went back a couple times at different sizes and it never happened again because people were just like, okay. And people got used to it. And I know I could go back and visit all my friends again now and there'd be like nothing. It's just like known. And then some of it is how you project yourself too. So like I don't project myself as a fat person since the mid-size era. That was where I like duked that out, which again, people got all bitchy about it, but I don't have the problem. People got used to it. So I'm like, no, I'm not fat. And then they're like, oh yeah, he's not. Because that's how you express yourself too. Like there is power in that. And I think there is, like, I watched this one, which, I don't know. I've been watching this one Gen Z guy. He's like a philosopher, and it's just not. I'm not trying to be auntie and judgy right now, but it's just not giving a lot of the time. And he was like, you shouldn't have to say what you are. People just know. And it's like, I don't agree with that at all. Like, I do think that expression, like, I do think we also express who we are. And we set expectations and we set like boundaries and things like that. Those are things that do have to be stated. And maybe that's more, the guy is more traditionally masculine. I'm very feminine. And so I think it's just very different. Like as a girly pop, basically, I think you do have to express yourself. But I do think that guys could do that too. Maybe that could be a sense of balancing. But you have to like, you can express who you are too, and you can express, I'm not fat, And I think that helps people, because then people are like, and then they're like, oh, okay. Because especially when you're getting there, it's like, people can kind of see it, and they're like, okay, I can see what you're saying. And then you just kind of move forward, basically. And then as you keep losing, then it's like, oh yeah. And then it's, so I don't have that problem, it's like, I really don't, I don't have that problem at all at this point. So sometimes you can lay certain groundwork too, or it's how you approach it with other people, which I think a lot of times people just kind of like hide away and then they lose the weight and then they come back and then everybody's like, oh my gosh. And then they're like, oh my gosh. And then and then they like freak out over it. And it's like, I didn't do that. I didn't hide away. I told y'all. I showed up. I'm still showing up, People probably want me to stop showing up. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe some of you guys do, but I'm here for the ones. I'm here for the real ones. I am. I've had a little bit of bitchitude over the last couple weeks, which is fine. It's fine. And, but I always, like, whenever I'm like, oh my gosh, like, people are so negative and da-da-da, and I just get into, like, a bitch mode, I always think of some of you guys that watch every day. And I'm like, I'm filming, period. So I think of y'all. I do. I really, really do. So I know I can be negative sometimes, which, I don't know. Is it negative? Is it just having a spark? I don't know. Is it being spicy? But I do also think of you guys who are really, really supportive. And who like watch me every morning and stuff like that, like I don't, it sounds gay, but I don't want to let you down. Like I know it's gay, but I don't. So I'm like, no, I'm filming. I'm filming, period. You know? Ooh, I'm like getting really sentimental. I'm really gay today. Okay, let's continue.
Fast food every day after school. I mean, trying to fit in your chair at school, not speaking up in class,
Yeah, that's
sweating all the time, being out of breath. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
that really sucks. I agree.
And it weighs down on you. And then once the change occurs, once the weight loss actually starts, once you start achieving these smaller goals, and then the goals just add on and add on and add on, and then you're like, whoa, I lost 10 pounds, I lost 20 pounds. I notice I'm eating junk food less. I'm getting in my calories. I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm pushing myself at the gym. I'm doing it. Oh, I got 9 reps on my bench. I'm doing so well. And over time, that just builds a positive mindset. You're literally reinforcing positivity into that whole negative spiral you were in. And that's like the beautiful part about weight loss is that
I agree with this. I think there is such a hope, you know, that comes from that. Like especially for me it was like post tortured where I described the feeling of walking on water. Like especially like going through the morbid phase because I could never do it before. And when I could finally break through that and I could keep going, it was like such an injection of hope into me and such a relief that I was wrong, or such a relief that what I thought wasn't possible was possible. And then there was a lot of pressure and a lot more work to do and a lot of work to do, period, still. But I won't forget what he's talking about. That's true. There is, when you have to normalize your weight from a high place, it can really give you a lot of hope underneath the struggle and depression and all the things, like, and it really opens your mind in a way that is invaluable. It's something you cannot buy. It's something that's deeply earned. And that is one of the most beautiful parts of the process. I agree with him.
you're literally reinforcing so many positive things back into your life that you never had, that you never even imagined, because you were too reluctant to change. You didn't
Or
want change
scared.
in your life. And now that you have change, it's like the universe is awarding you with positivity. It's just awarding you, man. And you deserve it 100%. You really do. And you're just outputting less negativity. Less negativity's drawing towards you. You may have those days where you fail, you fall back, you gain a couple of pounds, you have a cheat meal. That's okay, bro. Keep going. Literally just keep going. Everyone changes, right? And so many people like viewed me as that fat emo kid. They made fun of me for it. They judged me for it. People were avoiding to talk to me. Everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, he's weird. Don't be friends with that guy."
That's
Would sit
sad.
alone in class. People would like
That's kind of sad. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's just like it's a little bit of a nervous laugh, I guess, because I don't know. It does make you think, you know, people need to think about how they treat people. You know, even me too. I can be kind of a bitch, but I usually direct my bitchitude towards things beneath the surface, I guess. I guess if you're going to be a bitch, be an enlightened one, because if you're going to be bitchy about somebody, make sure that they're not like make sure you know what you're dealing with, basically. And I feel like I've always had somewhat of a knowledge, you know, that's I don't know if what it's called, still waters run deep or something like that. I feel like that's a cliche, but whatever. I guess all my brain is filled with these days is cliches and, cheesy statements. But if you're going to bitch out about somebody, you need to make sure that you know them. Bitch about what you know. You know that saying, write what you know, be a bitch towards what you know. That's my opinion, because I have had to swallow my pride and apologize quite a few times in my life when I've been wrong about somebody. It doesn't happen that often, but it has been. I've been wrong where I have not liked somebody, and then I actually really did, and I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. And unfortunately, I've been wrong where I have really liked somebody and then been betrayed or massively let down. So it's not 100% for all of us, but, my wrong moments are huge, but my right moments are common. I'm usually right about people, but there have been really big failures of my intuition as well. And those are like drastic, whether it's like, oh my gosh, I really, really like you, or I really fuck with you, or oh my gosh, you fucking stabbed me in the back and I was totally wrong about you. So it's drama. What else would you expect from me, right? But that's my advice, because they were saying all that about him, and then maybe now they want to be his friend or something after. And if he forgives them, then he's a good person, or he's very nice, which they're lucky, but not all of us are. That's so menacing and like so dumb. No, I'm not like bitter or whatever. I think I love that trope so much, even though it's so awful. And I don't think it's helpful, but I think it's funny in a sense. Like, but I feel like with me at this point, like, it's not really like the MSP, like, revenge body moment. It's more like I just feel like a troll, or I feel like a bitch, I feel like dancing around and gloating and, things like that. So it's that kind of thing. Like, it's more lighthearted. Like, I don't have anything out for anybody, really. So, but yeah, it's just funny.
Like, literally
To
tell
me,
me to
anyway.
go sit over there by myself because I couldn't join a group for some reason. Even with the friends I had, I'm still grateful for them, man. Because those were the people that still accepted me, even though I was so down bad mentally and physically. But they still accepted me. And that's the kind of friends you need to have, and the kind of friends you need to make throughout your life. And those are the kind of friends
Yeah.
you need when you're on that weight loss journey. Like,
I have really, really great friends. I really do. So, but again, those are lessons I learned back when I wasn't auntie, back when I was young. When we were young, back when me and Adele were young, that's when I learned those lessons. So, yeah.
the ones that are supporting you, not the fake ass friends. You don't need those people. Ditch those people. They're nothing to you. And if they come back to you saying, "Well, you lost weight, you're so cool now," tell them, then why weren't you there for me in the beginning? And that's what I thought about so many people, man. So many people just came into my life after the weight loss. It's like, but you weren't a part of my life before. You were talking crap about me behind my back, or you weren't supporting me. You made fun of me. So why should I have empathy with you? And I understand. And
Yeah, the only thing that I would accept is like if somebody was like, I wasn't, like if it had to do with like attraction, I don't take that as personally, because you do look different and stuff. So I could understand that. Like, I know a lot of the MSP stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, if they weren't attracted to you at your biggest size, then they don't deserve you when you're like, and all that stuff. I don't agree with that, because you actually do like look different. Your lifestyle's different. Like, there's just a lot of factors where it could totally affect like a romantic relationship. But as far as like friendship or like being bullied or people talking shit or all this stuff, like to me, that's not MSP. Like that's like actual shit. And I don't know, you know. I guess it's more of like if you want to be really gracious, you can. I think it's great to be gracious, but it's also like, to me, it's case by case, I guess you could say. It's a case by case basis, basically. It's tough. I don't know. I guess you guys can let me know what you think about that.
I empathize and sympathize with everyone, but just people like that, man. I don't know. It just doesn't cross well with my mind for some reason. With being the 240-pound kid, a lot of people ask me the question, do you get more girls?
He probably is more 240. If he is like 6 feet, then he's more in that mid territory, which I told you can be kind of rough. I don't know how tall he is though, but yeah, to me, I know it's bad, but I just think you can't help it. Sometimes it to me like starting at 240 is like I weighed more than that at the start of the year, this year. So to me, I'm like, okay. Not trying to like downplay anybody's accomplishments or anything, but it's just like it was mostly social probably for him, you know, which is fine. But I guess when you're bigger than that, which again, it's no flex, it just means like I was really fucked up. Basically, I don't know what else to say. Extremely busted. Mentally and physically, but it's like I had like huge lifestyle changes that occurred and like physical changes that occurred and like all these different things, and I still have like I'm still physically adjusting. Like I think it's hard for my brain and body to be like, you know, we're at this weight now, like what, you know, because it's so drastic of a difference. But yeah, so to me, I'm just like, okay, 240. You know, it's mostly social stuff, which again, it can sting a lot, and I'm not trying to take that away. It really can. Um, and then there's also still a lot of stuff in terms of like internal body image or how you see yourself or self-esteem and insecurity and all these different things. You know, I didn't live as a mid for very long. I hated it. Um, so I can't imagine being that way for years, you know, or what that would do to somebody because it's just very hard. I feel like it was a hard experience.
Right? Because that's also what changed, right? Everyone changes, even girls. Maybe a girl find you attractive. Yes, it actually did happen. Girls were actually attracted to me after I lost weight. It happens. It just happened. And I feel like it's also having that good personality because when you lose weight, you become more social. You want to get out there more. You just lost weight. You're skinnier. You're more comfortable wearing your shirts, you know, and going out. And you have more confidence in yourself because you've built that confidence in the gym and in those sessions and in tracking your progress, you know, and eating the clean foods and avoiding the junk food. It's like you're already so confident. And people just inspire to be like that. They aspire you. And people were aspired by me. And still they are to this day. And they view me differently. Because
I think it's so funny. Not like I'm just providing a contrast, but I feel like I could be like the most in shape, amazing looking, whatever. And I would still have so many people that would just like hate my guts or like not like me at all. And it's like, I'm just a polarizing girly pop, you know? Like I I always have been. And I just could not relate to that. I just couldn't. Because honestly, like how I've been treated or seen or whatever, it's honestly been almost exactly the same. It's like maybe the types of people that liked me change and then the types of people that didn't like me change. You know what I mean? Like maybe things shift, but also not really, you know? Um, So I'm like, I don't know. I guess like I could never relate to that because I can't relate to people being like, oh, like now that you're this way, I totally I aspire to be like you, blah blah blah. Like I just don't think I'd ever have that. I just don't. I don't think it matters. I think my personality is just like very much there. And I feel like as I was no longer fat, it's like now it's just even more obvious and it just gets more and more obvious. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there would always be people like people are I think a lot of times I act like a mirror a lot. So it's like I feel like sometimes a lot of people they'll be like they think they're better than me. So then I treat them like I think I'm better than them. You know? It's weird. Um which this is kind of gay to say, but I feel like it has to do with being an INFJ. I know that's really gay. I'm sorry to anybody who thinks that's dumb as fuck, but I know some of y'all are into it, and I do think it has to do with it because we're kind of like we're like a social chameleon introvert. So we kind of mirror people back to them. And it's weird that I even kind of do that on social media, but it's just a part of who I am. So I don't know. It is weird. It's always been weird. I think that's why I had identity issues when I was younger, honestly. Because it took a while for me to actually develop like an inner core because I felt like for me it's like I will take on qualities of those I'm around. I don't do it as much now, but like certainly when I was younger. So it's like I had to really find myself, you know. I had identity issues, honestly, from that. Um so I don't know. And then I'm just, you know, we have we have extroverted feelings, so I can't really hide how I feel either. I have like silent and showing how I feel, and that's it. But even if I'm trying to be quiet, it's like I'm gonna scoff. I'm gonna have my eyes are gonna roll. Like there's gonna be something that comes out because I can't help it. That's who I am, which is fine. I think it's okay, but a lot of people are really upset about it too, you know, because it's kind of like it's just personality difference. You know what I mean? Um and I try not to be like super 100% reactive all the time now, but um it still happens. It'll always happen. I try to control the fires. I am a fire sign, you know, I'm a fiery person. So I try to like make sure that it's going somewhere at least. Um, you know, I try to be the fire that warms you on a cold night rather than that burns everything down. I'll put it to you that way. But it's like I have to be mindful of that, and I'm better at it now that I'm older. But when I was younger, I was like a tornado, a flame, you know, basically, and I was very reactive, and people cannot understand like how crazy it was. And because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, you're so awful now, Alex, oh my god. But it's like, oh my god, if you would have known me 10 years ago, I would have just you would have lost your shit over me, put to you that way. Like to me, I'm like, this is boring auntie edition. This is like you haven't seen anything of what I once used to be. You know what I mean? Like you really haven't. So it's just kind of funny to me. But yeah, I just had to say that. This is becoming therapy for Alex.
I was a completely different person before I even lost weight. Like, I didn't exist. He was a different personality and a different person. And when you vision
Yeah,
yourself,
he's he's very much contradicting himself because he just said that it was just other people and that you don't change, and then now he's saying you do. Unless if I heard that wrong, but that's okay. It's contradictory. People have contradictory feelings a lot, and that's okay.
of that person you want to be like, that vision's going to come true. It's the law of action. You just got to put in the work and make it happen, bro. And it'll happen to you. It really will happen. You just got to keep working hard. Every single day. Push yourself. Look at me. Look how skinnier my face is. My jawline. I built on muscle. People view you differently, not just for your looks, but for your personality as well, because I'm not as quiet anymore as I was, because I was so scared to socialize and I hid myself away from everyone. I still kind of do because I'm an introvert naturally, but you know what I mean. I don't really talk to that many people, but I'm just a guy, you know. I get charismatic when I get charismatic. When I meet new people, it's exciting. So many things in life, man. Everyone around you changes, even your family. Your family congratulates you. You may feel like they're not supporting you at first, but really deep down, even if they don't agree with your ideals and what you're doing, they still support you, man. They still support you. I mean, if you're in a toxic relationship, it's a different story. You know what I mean? You know the gist. Family, brothers, sisters, even your grandma, grandpa. It's all different, man. And your friends, family, your friends, it's all different. It all switches up. And it feels like it goes by like in one day, in a snap. Just one day.
I felt like it took forever. So I feel like it was a prison sentence. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to say that. That's a little too far. That was me being hyperbole. That was hyperbole. That was drama. Okay. I'm not trying to cheapen people's experiences in prison. But what I'm trying to say is it felt like it was forever. I don't even know. It's like, but I have a good memory. So it's like, I remember like staring at the ceiling. I remember howling at the moon. I remember crying. I remember being happy. I remember getting on the scale and being like, oh my gosh. I remember it all. I remember telling you guys and being like, oh my gosh, I lost 100 pounds and Aubrey Gordon is a bitch, you know? I remember all that. I remember being like, Leo Skeppy's wrong, you know? I remember it all. I remember it all too well. I mean, I am wearing the scarf, you know? I remember everything. I feel like I remember being so relieved to not be morbidly obese anymore. I remember seeing numbers I'd never seen. I remember like working my ass off this year, like to the bone, like just like you just do it, you just do it, you just do it. I remember bitching out and just being like, this fucking sucks. This is so hard. I fucking hate it. I'm losing it, you know, like in September and October. Like, I remember it. I remember being like, oh my God. And this past spring and, you know, getting out of the mids and being like, I'm fucking getting out of this. Like, I hate it. So I feel like people, I don't know if people want you to stay there. I don't know. I was weird then, honestly. But I was like, I'm not fucking staying in the mids, you know? I used that anger to get out. And it worked, you know? And it's like, I had a misery business moment. I had a misery business moment. Like, I remember it all. I remember everything. I remember being so sick in the beginning and feeling like these waves of cascading hormones and stuff. I remember feeling so hopeless. I remember being devastated, and I remember coming back to life. I remember becoming a Happen and Girly Pop again. I remember showing back up to the scene. I remember getting my ass on planes. I remember showing up to the wedding and, you know, horrifying my ex-best friend as she was no bigger than me. And that was a weird experience. You know, I had never experienced something like that. And which, by the way, I'd be supportive if she downsized. Absolutely. I just need that to be clear. As I've told you guys, to me, this issue, it just goes beyond anything like that. I'd still be happy for her. Absolutely. But, I mean, she was bigger than me at the wedding, and that was crazy. It was weird. You know, that was somebody who had kind of bullied me on the way out, and it was weird to see. It was a weird experience. But it's like, I remember it. You know, I remember all of it. So I don't agree that it happened like that. To me, it happened like, I put the fucking effort in every day and it happened. You know, it was a choice. I chose it every day. It was a commitment. It was a duty. It was something I chose every single day. Every single day. So I remember making that choice every day, basically. And it makes me happy, ultimately. I mean, I'm so just pleased and relieved and excited. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't feel any kind of sadness over it ending. I just feel pleased, relieved, and excited. Which I feel like is a good place to be, at least like in here. You know, I don't know how to deal with you guys sometimes. I don't know how to deal with other parts of my life. Like, I feel like it is a big turning point in my life where a lot of things are going to be different now. But I'm also like fiercely ready and fearless. I feel fearless. You know, you can start playing that guitar, Taylor, at any time. I'm just kidding. But I feel fearless. I do. And that's new. That's a new auntie experience. But I'm excited for next year. I told you guys, I don't think I've ever felt this excited for a new year. So, yeah.
Whether it was 2 years, but just felt like a day. I don't even know what it feels like sometimes to be like that kid anymore. So yeah, let's get started. You know, if you're wanting to lose weight, you're never going to regret it. Just do it, bro.
So I actually really appreciated this video. I think it was a very good, like, masculine perspective on the issue, and I appreciate the simplicity. I appreciate that he wasn't a mid-sized princess over it, too. Like, I actually really appreciate that. I'm pleasantly surprised. I feel like the criticisms, the good, the bad that he had to say, they were realistic. It wasn't like crazy or weird or like delulu or stupid or overly dramatic. I feel like he did carry it for what it was, and I feel like he represented it well, especially from, you know, just a shorter hand, simpler way of explaining something, which again, I don't mean simpler as in bad or dumb. I just mean like to the point, especially to where I feel like a lot of men would hear that and they'd be like, yeah, you know. And I think it could be super motivating. Even a lot of women, you know, whatever. You guys know I don't care about that stuff. I'm just saying, like, it's a more masculine way of presenting it, which I appreciate. Whereas you get the super femi side here, where I go on and on about random bullshit all the time. But I know you guys love it. So, or you know what you're getting. You know I'm feminine. I told you because I expressed it. Unlike that Gen Z philosopher said, when that Gen Z philosopher was like, you don't have to say it. No, you do. Because sometimes people forget, weirdly. At least with me. Maybe I just have no presence. I don't know what to tell you. I'm an INFJ. I'm not even alive. I always say that. We're ghosts, okay? We are not in the real world. We have no presence. I'm just kidding. Kidding, but not. We're just kind of otherworldly, ethereal, weird. And so I have to say it, you know? Because people are like, wait, somebody's on the video right now? Like, I thought I heard something. Is that the wind? And it's like, no, it was me. It was me. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this. Peace.